Hey guys, this week's topic I was going to talk about release and surrender. Just take the next best step. So, this is something that I've been working on the last couple years, unbeknownst to me at first, but then it became very clear to me. And basically, what it means is before you come to this earth and do this human experience, you have a general plan of what you intend to do and the lessons you're going to learn and the path you want to take. But when you get here, you have free will to make decisions as you please, and hopefully they're in the line with what that plan had said, but sometimes they're not, and sometimes you're trying to force things to happen when really if you sort of let go and relax and let things unfold, things would work out better and sort of go a little better to plan. So for people that are sort of controlling type personalities like myself, type A type personalities, you just want to get things done. You just want to plan. You just want to get on to the next step. And, what ends up happening is you're missing the present. You're missing the journey, which the point is the journey. So you spend so much time focusing on the future or accomplishing things. Like, life isn't to be accomplished. Life is to be lived, to be enjoyed. So if you're just focused on like hitting these markers, you're not really living your life the way it's intended. So a couple of examples in my life that this happened while, with my horse. When I got my horse, he had all these issues. And so what I really needed to do with him is probably just release and surrender and take the next best step. Instead, I just sort of like poured everything at it, every single medicine, every single thing, whatever was being suggested. I was just trying all this stuff like so hard to try to figure out the answer to this question, why my horse, is having issues. And it wasn't really getting me anywhere. I was just kind of like spinning my wheels. And if you think about it in terms of like catching a butterfly, right? You don't want to catch the butterfly really hard and fast and squish it. You want to, catch it with ease, with grace, with relaxation, and not with a franticness. So I was more in like a frantic mode, trying to get my horse fixed or figure out what the problem was so he could be fixed. And, that frantic energy is not what's going to produce the best results. You're, through the law of attraction, if you have that frantic type energy, you're going to be attracting frantic things, and you're not going to be attracting, maybe the path of least resistance or ease going forward. So I finally got to my wit's end with my horse, and I was like consulting my oracle cards, and I kept getting like this release and surrender card. And I'm like, okay, well, like, how am I still going to fix this? And, what I've realized is you still can plan and have a plan forward. But what you need to do is, instead of having everything have to work out exactly the way that you think it should happen and quickly and fast, just assess the situation. Say, okay, this is where I am right now. This is the scenario. What is the next best step that I can take? I'm not going to worry about 20 steps away, 100 steps away, even 5 steps away. I'm just going to worry about evaluating my current situation and what is the next best step to take that's going to get me where I would like to be. And that also, I think, helps keep you in the present as well. So you're just thinking about what the situation is now and what action I'm going to take next to try to get me where I want to be. And this can go for anything, for your jobs or any situation that you have, like evaluating where you are and evaluating where you want to go, and just then take that next step towards the goal. So, how do you climb a mountain? Like one step at a time. So you just take that next step. And that also sort of releases all the attachments to future outcomes, 20 steps down the line. You're not worried about that 20th step because you're only worried about the next step. And if you accomplish that, then you've either learned something or you're moved in the direction that you need to go, or it's pushed you back into the direction that you need to go. And so you don't have some attachment to something 20 steps down the line. And so that's sort of just releasing the attachment to outcomes, and I feel like sometimes your idea of the outcome is probably not the best possible outcome. And if you think about certain songs like, I thank God for unanswered prayers, or God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. I feel like these are sort of along the same vein of these concepts where, these all things happen. The person didn't realize there was a better outcome because, you know, they couldn't see that from their position at the time, but there was. And if they just kept taking that next best step, or the next steps where they want to go, you know, the path would take them there. But they couldn't even imagine, you know, what that 20th step was going to be. It was actually better than what they had thought about, or different than what they had thought about. If they just let everything play out naturally, organically, instead of trying to force something to happen, you know, it would actually work out better. So sometimes when you're too controlling of a situation, you don't allow the options to come through that are probably even better than the ones that you're thinking about. And when you think about this in terms of, you know, everybody has an idea of where they want to go with their career, or, you know, whatever they're doing in life. For me, you know, obviously I would like to be a medium, energy healer, something in the spiritual world. So right now I have a job where, you know, it's a 9-to-5 job, corporate job. And instead of freaking out about when I'm going to quit that job and start the spiritual career, I just say, okay, let me assess the situation now. This job is providing me a wonderful income, a wonderful type of life right now. I work from home, so I'm able to, you know, meditate before work and have a lot more flexibility, and it allows me to pursue my spiritual goals. And I'm just going to take the next steps towards what I want to be. So that means I'm going to do the meditations. I'm going to learn about stuff when I have time and read books, and just keep taking those next steps. And eventually I will get to a point where perhaps what I'm doing is spirituality things for my career. And if not, maybe another possibility will open up for me that I haven't even considered yet, but I'm still working towards where I would like to go. But I'm not trying to be attached to exactly how that path is going to unfold, because once you do that, you're limiting yourself, really. So that's just one example of how I'm trying to move forward. And, you know, if you're working in a career that you're not keen on, or something that you're not keen on doing at that moment, focus on what's good about that particular job, or that particular task, or that particular part of your life, or what that's teaching you. And then say, okay, what's the next step I should take to move towards where I would like to be? And where you would like to be today, you know, it might be different than where you would like to be in 2 years. So just take that next step, and as you move forward, you will climb the mountain. You'll get to the top where you want to be. But you also just need to consider that, you know, life is about the journey, and it's about the lessons that we learn along the way. So try to stay focused on the present. Try to stay, you know, open to the possibilities that are to kind of come to you in the various moments that happen in the present. And then, you know, keep evaluating that going forward, but stay present, stay focused on those things instead of worrying about what's going to happen in 5 years, 10 years, because that doesn't even exist. And when I say to people about being happy, and I've said this even before I was spiritual, all you have is the present. So if you're not happy now, that's all you have. You know, you're not some future me that says, I'm going to be happy when this happens, when that happens. You know, then you just never get there. That is always a future point. It's never the present. So you need to figure out how to enjoy the present, how to evaluate your next steps while enjoying the present, and still focused on goals. This doesn't mean you can't plan anything, but you can plan it, but don't become so attached to an outcome that you limit yourself. So have a tentative plan, but then just take the next steps towards your goal. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this one.